Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our next speaker in today's gathering. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce Ambassador Zorica Maric-Djordjević, the esteemed former ambassador of Montenegro to the UN Human Rights Council and the World Trade Organization. She is a dedicated human rights advocate, and we are delighted that she could join us here. Thank you so much, Ambassador.
Madame Rajavi, dear friends and colleagues, my dear Iranian sisters, dear relatives and survivors of political prisoners, and those who tragically vanished in the massacre in 1988, families and friends of those tortured and killed in the last 45 years by the hands of brutal criminal regime in Tehran, I want to extend the warmest greetings to all of you, especially those following the conference back home in Iran, and those brave women and men at Ashraf Tree in Albania. Mirdit, my dear friends. Distinguished participants and colleagues, I am honored and humbled to be here with you again for the World Summit Free Iran 2024. As a daughter of political prisoner, I bonded with all of you last year through the shared experience of our families. During the former communist regime in Yugoslavia, and your families and our stories. How it feels when the system managed to make our political prisoners and their families invisible, because almost no one knows what each of us goes through. How we feel when we think that our hands and feet are tied, when we cannot speak about what we are experiencing, about the siege in our homes, about people following us when we go out on the street, the threats at school and the office, stigmatization and the mistreatment of our dearest, our prisoners, of their torture and isolation, of sudden execution and unbearable loss, of the quiet struggle for survival and the prayers for the better days to come. But dear sisters and brothers, dear friends in Iran, political prisoners, you are not alone, and we hear you loudly and clearly here in Paris. And we take seriously your resistance and message that Iran is at a crossroads. We stand with you. The passing of Ibrahim Raisi and the subsequent sham elections have deepened and opened wide existing fractures within Iran's regime. The lowest turnout in the history of Iran's elections demonstrates not only the apparent boycott of the electorate, but sends a powerful message to the whole world. Iranian people have gone beyond the terrorist oppressive regime. They are ready and prepared for freedom, not just a change of dictators. Dear friends, Iranians have no memory of any form of government other than a monarchy of the House of Pahlavi or the Islamic Republic established by Ayatollah Khomeini in 1979. I strongly believe that the National Council of Resistance of Iran can bridge this gap, democratically empowering the people and guaranteeing that ethnic religious groups and protected and celebrated for their diversity, dynamism, and humanity is on our reach. This coalition represents the genuine aspiration of the Iranian people for secular, democratic and pluralistic Iran. Madame Mariam-Djordjević's 10 points offers a transformative vision for Iran, addressing the oppressive, violent history of the mullahs regime over the last 45 years, and represent an important declaration of human rights in 21st century, one that we can all sign today. And make no mistake, Iranian people are chanting for democracy and equality, but not for the return of oppressive monarchy. Dear friends, the heart of the resistance in Iran is women, and we have among us the best of them, the leader of UNHCR, Madame Rajavi. Madame Rajavi, thank you for your leadership, perseverance, and audacity. Thank you for the hope you bring to the Iranian people every single day. Dear friends, Honorable Madame Rajavi, ladies and gentlemen, what is my takeaway from this year's summit? First, supporting the National Council of Resistance of Iran, NCRI, as the legitimate alternative to Iran's current regime. I strongly believe, I'm convinced that is a paramount for several strategic and ethical reasons. And I think that political leaders in the last 2 days laid out those reasons very, very well and eloquently. Second, it is time for international community to stop giving the opportunities to leaders of the religious fascists of Iran in Tehran. It is time to stop policy of appeasement, and we need global support for free Iran now, and a renewed campaign against impunity of religious tyrants in Tehran. We need those renewed decision-making in Washington, D.C. and in Brussels, in every office on Capitol Hill, the European Parliament, the UN. Fight for Iran is our fight. In conclusion, I want to amplify Madame Rajavi's message in her opening remarks to all Iranians who are listening to us and are part of this impressive summit. You are the only ones who can and should change the clerical fascist tyranny in your country. It is critical time to step and unify your resistance. You are the only ones who can and should tear down the wall of isolation and oppression in Iran. Take the future of Iran into your own hands and show the whole world that the glory of free and prosperous Iran is within your reach. It's not only possible, but it's coming, and it's coming soon. God bless you and thank you.